So the big question this morning, what is next in the search for Nancy? Former FBI agent and cybersecurity expert Lance Leising joins us this morning in studio. Lance, it's good to see you again. First, before we kind of get back into the case and what's next, how does the back and forth between these two agencies really affect the outcome of the case?
Yeah, whenever you're working a joint case, the relationship between agencies is crucial. I mean, it's like a marriage, right? If you don't have good communication, things are going to fall to the side. You're going to have bigger issues. They're going to bubble up. And in a case like this, where you have so much attention and it's going so many different directions, if they're not lockstep connected together, it makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah. Lance, obviously we're at day 100. It's been very quiet over the past couple of months. Can you give us kind of an idea of what maybe is going on behind the scenes, or do you think this case is unfortunately starting to go cold?
Sure. So the cold case moniker is something that's been thrown around, especially after 100 days. It's really not time, though, that makes a case cold. It's lack of viable leads. That's what you're really looking for. In this case, I don't think investigators lack viable leads. There have been so many tips that have come in, so much from those surveillance camera images that they're tracking down related to those images, the items in the images, the backpack, things like that. There are a lot of different leads. The ransom notes, all those still generate some type of leads. If this case was truly cold, if there were no viable leads, I would think you'd see a lot more press conferences, a lot more pleas to the public for tips. You did see that from Savannah this weekend, and it's hard to tell whether that's a family wanting to have some involvement in this or it's directed from investigators.
How likely is it that there are probably maybe copycats? You know, you think of the letters sent to TMZ or to other media, and, you know, could those really be connected to the case or possible, you know, copycat?
Well, I think what happened early in the case, I think you saw it, is that the FBI and the Sheriff's Department were taking all of those seriously. There was a true copycat, a true hoax. That was a suspect that was arrested in California. But then you have the other ransom notes that were sent to TMZ that they took seriously. They were negotiating. It was a negotiator book 101 from what they were doing there. They were doing a very good job negotiating and taking it seriously. I think there were a lot of indicators those were fraudulent from the start, but as an investigator, you have to take that seriously. And they're still doing that now.
Lance, I don't know if you want to wade into this, but obviously there has been a lot of back and forth between the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI itself. Do you want to wade into that as far as your opinion on how things are going?
So, you don't have to if you don't want to. No, I'm happy to talk about it. A command center in a joint investigative agency, it has the potential to be full of egos, right? And you really got to check those egos at the door. In order for that investigation, the two agencies or multiple agencies to work closely together, those have to be checked at the door. You have to be working for the victim and the victim's family and the citizens and to protect the public, and that's got to be your main focus. In this case, there have been some indications that people were one agency is trying to get ahead of the other, and you're trying to beat people to the scene or do what you want with evidence rather than jointly collaborating. Those are issues that can lead to bigger issues, and I hope that's not the case here.
You know, one last question as we kind of look ahead. We just have about 30 seconds left, but as we look ahead at the possibility of solving the case, how likely is it right now when you look at, you know, you just heard Chris Nano say a moment ago, you know, we're close.
Well, that's encouraging. I mean, I like to hear that they're close. The fact that there haven't been pleas to the public or press conferences makes me think that there are still viable leads, and investigators think they're going down the right path. I hope that's true. I do think this will be solved. I think it's going to take a break in the case. Oftentimes, that break comes from public tips. It's the public seeing something they think is minimal, and then they report it, just like Savannah was saying this weekend. If you know anything, 1-800-CALL-FBI.
All right, great, Lance. Thank you so much for your time.
And that $1 million still on the line as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Lance,
right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good insight.